How's it guys, it's Davey FPL and welcome back to the Deadline with Davey live stream. This live stream is going to revolve around double game week 20. Before I get into detail, let me know if the audio is looking good, the video is looking good, and hopefully the game week squad is going to look good at the end of the stream because right now there's a couple of fires to put out. You'll notice that no transfers have been made in my team. No chips have been activated, don't worry, that will come in due time. We're going to focus on some transfer plans first because I won't lie to you guys, I'm not currently cemented in my transfer plans, so this stream might be a little bit of a wild one. So looking good, Davey. Do appreciate it, James. You always kind of let me know that the stream is looking decent. I'm just going to move everything to one side. I do apologize. Please also let me know if you hear any background noise. I do have the generator on the left-hand side and I have a fan on the right-hand side because it's quite a scorcher here in SA and obviously we don't have power all the time. So just let me know if there's too much background noise, but I think I've isolated it enough that you guys won't hear it. But if you do, just let me know and I'll address it as quickly as possible. Otherwise, let me know how you guys are doing on this Friday. There's so many kind of live streams going on that if you just join this live stream, I appreciate it. Don't even have to like the live stream if you don't want to, just because of you guys being in the stream at the current moment. But hopefully we're going to sort out those problems. And if you guys do have any concerns, drop them in the comments and I'll try to get to as many as possible. Otherwise, we had a couple of people that were quite early into the chat. We had a few questions. I'll try and get through those. Kevin Mann saying, let's go. Olaf saying, how's it? The goat is back, says Unkit. So many fires this week. Hits United, says Will. Ntunzi says that his team has been set before load shedding. That's a wise plan right there. And says all the best. All the best to you too, Mtunzi. Hopefully it's going to be a good game week and hopefully not too much load shedding this weekend. There's not a background noise. Thank you. I do appreciate it. And I probably shouldn't have told you guys about it because now you might hear something and then you kind of hear it more advanced, let's just say that. Securing saying no background noise fan isn't high enough and the tash isn't even flowing in the winds. I've got it down here actually because when I put it on a high setting then it makes a background noise. But yeah, you guys can let me know if I should shave because I literally every time that I come on with facial hair someone always tells me to shave, so I've prepared for it, to be honest. Oct saying how's it, what do you think of using the wildcard this game week? TR, I don't personally like it. I'd say maybe take a -12, even maybe a -16. As long as you're fixing your team for the short term or medium term, that should be fine. But I think the wild card could be quite advantageous towards the doubles at the end of the season. Teasmeister saying, evening Davey and my fellow legends. So thanks for joining, Teasmeister. Milos saying, Cucurella, Darwin / Cancelo to Shaw, Kane, Ake. Those moves look pretty good. I probably might make similar moves, to be honest. I'll wrap through those pretty quickly. But Milos, that looks pretty solid. Sky became a member. Thank you for becoming a member. I do appreciate it. If I scroll over your name, okay, I can't see how long you've been a member for, but that, as far as I know, that's quite high. And then you've upgraded the membership to become a legend. So Kai, what an absolute legend. I do appreciate it. Shave on stream says slamming. I probably won't do that, but maybe if we hit a massive triple camps or something like that. Alex with a super chat saying, help. Foden to Kevin De Bruyne, Darwin to Tony, would have KDB, Salah and Haaland. KDB in for Salah, Darwin to Kane, would have KDB, Kane and Haaland. I think this week you probably prioritize Kane because of the double. I think the big thing, Alex, about Salah that's put me off him a little bit for the short term is that I don't think we're going to get double game week 21, guys. I think that they would have announced it already. But as far as I know, there's been no announcements. I've checked Twitter continuously today. There's been nothing about kind of double game week 21. And that was kind of the big thing about me with this Liverpool assets. Now they don't have that. They still have some nice fixtures coming up. But I would say that Kane's probably the priority there. And that's why I think that the Salah to KDB, Darwin to Kane move makes slightly more sense. But it's a real 50-50 there. But I think the Kane move is slightly favored. Even in terms of kind of think expected points for this game week, I'd say. TR saying, please shave the mustache especially. So not holding back there, TR, but don't worry, you are a member, so I do appreciate that. Last number with a super chat saying, hi, is Trossard a sell for Rashi? 100% last number. I don't know if you saw this news, but I just saw it when I came back that Trossard's agent said that he is not going to be playing for Brighton any longer. So I would definitely sell him even for a -4 hit because I don't think he's gonna focus on Brighton too much into the future. That's what I'd say. Moses saying, hi boy Davey, new look. Thank you. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm going to take it as a bad thing, but I'll just translate it to something good. But thanks, Moses. I appreciate it. How's it, Davey? Been a while making my girlfriend listen to the Deadline stream while we have dinner. JoJo's Revenge. I mean, my voice can kind of serenade you both. So hopefully you have a romantic dinner. And I mean, if the triple captain bangs, you're going to be laughing. So that's what I'll say. G-Ball saying captain plus 10 points equals shave on stream. I don't think 10 points, and maybe 20 points. That might be a better kind of indication, because I always say on a triple captain, you want 15 points or more. That's what I would say. Jacques saying, hi Davey, hi chat. How's it, Jacques? Hopefully doing well. Are you taking any hits this week? Yes, probably. I think the lowest amount of hits I'll take is a -4, and the max is going to be a -12, but I'll go through those transfers pretty quickly. I'm inclined about choosing Mahrez over KDB based on his recent performances. No, he brings a rotation risk, but how do you see it? I think it's fine as long as you have an upgrade in mind that you want to go for. Maybe it's Harry Kane in for Darwin. That move does make sense. I would just say that the thing I'm favoring on the Man City assets is them being nailed, because they have so many fixtures coming up. So that's why I prefer going for an Edison, even though he might not offer that attacking threat going forward. But an Edison, a KDB, and a Haaland for me are the best, because they offer that nailed ability. I always say that. It's not a word. Please don't look it up in the dictionary. But the nailed ability of them is that they should probably play most games. Milos, thanks for the kind words. And Siddharth, as you're saying, it is hits time. So let me roll through my transfer plans for you. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to switch over to the transfer page. So just give me a second here while I show you guys what I'm dealing with. Actually, you guys can see that on screen. I'll just kind of scroll it down slightly so you can see the money in the bank as well. So I have one free transfer, unfortunately, this week, guys. So not too much to play with. So if you have 2 free transfers, I'm quite envious of you, because I actually think that it's a very nice game week to have 2 free transfers. But the biggest concern right now is going to be Darwin Núñez. A lot came out in Klopp's press conference about his potential starting or his potential injury. If you guys paid close attention, apparently Klopp basically confirmed that he won't be playing Brighton. Now, if he was going to have the double game week 21, I might actually keep him. But because we've had no news about that, it's basically a week's time. I'm not too certain on that kind of double game week. I think Darwin Núñez is a transfer out. So right now I have 2 options for Darwin Núñez. And the first one is going to be none other than Harry Kane. Simple rotation switch there. I wanted to go for actually an Anthony Martial, but it seems like he's also having some training concerns. And I don't want to bring in a player that's kind of touch and go for the first fixture in a double game week, because chances are they might get injured again and they're not going to be fit for the second one. Then they become a transfer out, and so on and so forth. So Martial is out of my kind of transfer plans. So the 2 players are going to be Harry Kane and then Ivan Toney. Now, Ivan Toney is an interesting one, because right now, if you guys haven't paid attention to the latest betting news, but Ivan Toney has been charged with, I think, 300 or 230 counts of betting allegations against him. So I'm pretty sure that he's going to be banned for a certain number of game weeks if he does get found guilty. If you guys are following the story, he had, I think on the 4th or the 5th of January, he had his chance for a response. We haven't had any kind of reaction to that response, and it has been about a week's time. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but that might be a good thing. Maybe because we've heard nothing about it, it means that he should be fine for the upcoming game weeks. But he's a nice selection for kind of a short-term punt. Brentford probably going to blank in game week 25 anyways, so I think he's more of kind of a short-term punt, whereas Harry Kane might be the longer-term play. Obviously, there's a big price difference between them, and if I want to go for Harry Kane, I could afford him right now, but then the other upgrades aren't as decent, whereas if I went for Ivan Toney, I could fit someone in my midfield or my forward department. Now, what you guys might be saying is that I could actually afford both of them. I could go for a Darwin Núñez to Harry Kane. I could upgrade Greenwood to someone like an Ivan Toney. Downgrade Cancelo. Bob's your uncle. We have that team. The only thing I'm a little bit cautious about is that the fact that I think the midfielder options are better than the forwards at the current moment. And that's why I might want to stick with a 5 in midfield. So that's the first kind of transfer plan, is in terms of Darwin Núñez, it's either Kane or it's Ivan Toney. And then it's either both of them in the forward department, or I'll upgrade one of my midfielders. And the reason I'm saying that is that if you guys recall that my team that I just showed you, Andreas Pereira was in my starting 11, and I'm more confident of playing him against that Newcastle side that's been the best defense over the last 6 game weeks. So I'm not really confident of having Andreas Pereira, and that's how I would look to upgrade him if I'm going to play him and I don't upgrade Greenwood. So that's where the next selection comes into account. The number 1 player I want to bring in is going to be Bruno Fernandes, but Anthony could be a cheap alternative, but I think that Bruno is just the better selection in that United lineup, and unfortunately though, he is quite expensive. So if I want to go for Bruno Fernandes, I have to kind of go for maybe an Ivan Toney in the forward department, or I would have to kind of do another -12 to get funds elsewhere, and the funds will probably come from Cancelo. And Cancelo's an interesting one this game week. I've kind of spoken about him continuously throughout the game week's videos. If he plays both games, I think that he's fine, but I don't think he will. I think he'll play one game, and that's a little bit annoying.
But the thing I said is that Cancelo's basically one game off being back in the team. If he plays well against United, plays well against Spurs, he might be in the starting 11 for the foreseeable future. And that's kind of the scary thing about him. And if I want to go for another asset, I would probably go for a John Stones, but now he's also injured. So I think Nathan Ake is the natural replacement there, but also I'm not too confident on those Man City players because, as I just mentioned, I want that like nailed ability, and I don't think any of the defenders offer that, except for maybe an Edison. But if I go for Edison, that's a -12, so you can see where there is a bit of confusion here. And in terms of my goalkeeper selection, Kepa or Ward, not Azpilicueta. Between them, I'm not too confident of either of them, and that's why I wanted to go for Edison, but I don't know if it's worth a -4 right now with the hard double game week. So that's the whole kind of transfer situation. I know I ran through that very quickly. I'll go through it a little bit slower. But in terms of the triple captain, I'm pretty keen on it. I think I'm going to be going for it. It's Fernandez. Don't disrespect by calling him. I just watched a Diego Jota video, and I swear that he just called him Bruno Fernandes, but I might be wrong on that. But you guys can correct me. I thought that's the Portuguese way of saying it. So maybe I messed up. Also, the chocolate milk is back. So if it's not a banger game week, then I don't know what's going to happen, because every time we've had this drink on stream, we've absolutely banged the game week. So yeah. In terms of other selections, there are a few. Some people are mentioning Mahrez, 100% Danny D-Man, 007. Mahrez was a selection that I could go for. What I would do then is I'd go for Mahrez instead of going for a City defender, and then I'd go for Martinez or Varane. But I just don't know what the kind of centre-back situation is right now. If you guys are a Man United fan, you can comment it in the comments. Tell me who's the most nailed centre-back to go for. Is it Varane? Is it Martinez? Or is it kind of going for a Wan-Bissaka and other Delot's out injured? Sell it to KDB for a -8. Any thoughts? So Sydney, I would do it personally, but I think that right now it's a little bit of a tough one. I think if Liverpool got that double game week, then 100% maybe not. But I just think with the sheer amount of fixtures that Man City are getting now with the 2 doubles, you have to go for it. You pronounce Bruno's name right, Lamau says Adnan. So maybe I'll just call him Bruno F from now on, like Bruno G. Ben, me or Doherty for FPL? I think that I would go for Doherty this week. Wan-Bissaka not nailed, yeah, so that's a tough part. I could either go for a centre-back like Martinez that will never win attacking header in the opposition box, or I go for Varane, but he seems quite injury-prone. Tarang saying, just joined, hope I didn't miss anything too hectic. You just missed the kind of transfer plan where I talked about every single option under the sun, so probably not. David saying, just tuned in, what's the transfer plan this week? So I'll go over it quite simply. I'll kind of take the players out and that sort of thing. Kuran saying Martinez and Varane nailed, so that could be quite good. Why is everyone sleeping on Rodrigo, Davey? I think right now it's the fact that we don't know if there's going to be a double game week. If there was in game week 22 for Leeds, I think I would jump on it. But because we don't know right now, it's a little bit of a hard case. And we can always just bring him in if he does double in 22. Triple captain Haaland. So yes, I'm currently going to be triple captaining, I do believe. Varane is nailed. Martinez is not, says Liam Taku, says he's a season ticket holder. Thank you for that insight. I will consider that if I do bring in United defender. But that's the thing, I think the United attack has a higher ceiling than the United defense in my opinion, and that's why I think I might be more kind of inclined to go for let's just say an Anthony and an Ake versus going from Mahrez and a Varane. I think that those might be better. He's just back from the World Cup. He's not ready, so thanks for that. The chocolate milk is back. Oh, hell. Thank you, Unkit. And Tony looks good for you, Davey. Yeah, he does. It kind of simplifies things a bit. So let's just go through my transfer plan a little bit easier here. I'm just going to switch the chat over to the right monitor. So I'll still see you guys, but just a little bit more distant. So in terms of Darwin Núñez out, I think the most sensible replacement here is going to be going for Harry Kane. So I'm just going to kind of, it might be a little bit scuffed on the right-hand side here. So let's go for Harry Kane in. That's kind of a sensible replacement to look at. Everyone's kind of bringing Harry Kane in right now. Then I have 1.1 left in the bank. And if I want to bring in a United attacker, such as a Fernandez or an Anthony, I can do this. So I can take out, but then you guys can see if I bring in Fernandez, I need 4.1 million from a 7.1 player. So that's impossible. So that's why I'd have to go for Anthony. So it's between kind of Anthony, Mahrez, and then maybe Ivan Toney up front. That's the only consideration. Then with the -7 left in the bank, I could take out Cancelo. Then I could go for Nathan Ake at 5 million. And that kind of makes things a little bit simpler. I could also go for a -12 if I want to. I could go for Edison and goal for Kepa. then I could go for another defender, but I just don't know if a minus 12 is worth it with how many teams are playing each other this week, and the fixtures are looking that great. But I guess it is a long-term play, and if Edison gets some clean sheets in the future, that could be the play to actually go for. But yeah, right now, this is kind of a transfer plan that I was considering. The other one that I could actually just do is going for something simpler. I could just downgrade Cancelo to, okay, I could upgrade Kane, or I go for Bruno Fernandes, that sort of thing. But I think the -8 makes the most sense right now. But you guys can let me know what you think. Are there any other solutions that you can see to my transfer dilemma? And that sort of thing. Got Nacho triple captain locked in. I actually saw someone yesterday, I think over on Twitter, that was asking if he's nailed. Since when do Man United attackers have a high ceiling than Man United? So I think you're saying since when do Man United attackers have a high ceiling than Manchester City attackers? Oh, okay. I know what you're saying there. So I can understand what you're saying about that kind of linking. I just worry about the Man City attackers more than the defenders for rotation. So 100% Mahrez could be the one to go for. I just think that I trust the Man City defense more than the Man United defense, and that kind of makes it a little bit swayed. But I get what you're saying in terms of that. I think I still want some Man City defensive coverage though. And that's why I already own 2 of the Man City attackers, because I think they're pretty strong. Will Digne play after the new signing? I believe he should. I don't think there's any concerns about Luca Digne, but I'm not the best Aston Villa insider to ask. I just missed what you said. Damn, what's the move tonight, Adam? So in terms of the moves tonight, I think it's going to be definitely a hit. Darwin to Kane or Tony. Then we have Andreas or Greenwood to Tony, Anthony or Fernandes. Then we finally have Nathan Ake, probably in for Cancelo. However, I could also go for another alternative, maybe a Doherty and then a Edison. But I just don't know. I'm a bit cautious about the hits right now. What do we do about Kepa? Well, you probably keep him. I don't know if a goalkeeper transfer is the best move right now, especially with the fact that I don't even know if Man City will keep a clean sheet this week, as the 2 teams look pretty strong attacking-wise. But you probably play him or you play Danny Ward. I think the Chelsea defense, don't want to say it like this, but I think they might be marginally better than the Leicester defense currently. But between those 2, it's a real 50-50. Make sure to make transfers early. Guaranteed the site will crash. Yeah, it will. We've got about 38 minutes left. -8 to get rid of Walker. I wouldn't get rid of Walker. I'd say Cancelo's the only one that I consider. And the reason for Cancelo going out is just because I'm worried about his kind of minutes. Well, it kind of is. I just believe with that doubt about his minutes, he's not worth that price tag. So at 7.2 million, I've mentioned this, but the reason we went for Cancelo on the wild card and at the start of the season is everyone said, we're going to get Cancelo because he's nailed to start every single game. He's the most nailed defender to go for. And now that he's lost that, he's not worth that kind of attacking threat. And that's why everyone's kind of downgrading him. James with the super chat saying, do you think Rashford plays both considering triple captaining him? I think that he does play both. Whether I would triple captain him is a whole different story. I still feel like Haaland might be the better asset this week for the triple captain. But if you want to go differential, then 100%. Not convinced with the Kane transfer. Not playing well and up against 2 teams this weekend. So that's the thing about Kane that's why I wish that Martial was back fit, because if he was fit, it makes the transfer so much easier this week. I would have done probably Darwin to Martial, or would have done Greenwood to Martial, and then we would have probably just rolled along with no hits. But now the fact that he's out and potentially going to miss, I just feel like it's pushing me into a corner of Harry Kane, and that's why I think everyone's kind of going for him. Darwin, Salah, and prior to Kane, Mahrez, and Shaw, -8. Yeah, those moves look pretty strong, to be honest. I'd say consider what you could do with a KDB in for a Salah, but if you're not too fond of that move, then maybe just go with what you have. Would you bring in Doherty? I would. I just think that you have to be very modest on his returns for the foreseeable future, especially the double game week 20. He is quite cheap at 4.5, but other than that, I don't know. Are these moves confirmed? No, they're not confirmed. I'm very kind of worried about my considerations, because there's so many options to go for, and I just feel like none of these moves are kind of stand out to me, and that worries me slightly. Salah to KDB worth it? I think so, just because of the sheer amount of games they play. Just look at Salah. I don't think he's going to get the double next week, so then he has a bunch of single game weeks, whereas De Bruyne has those doubles, plays also in blank game week 25, so you don't have to worry about that one. And I think we can always bring Salah in if he does double. Then that's why I want to leave some money in the bank, to be honest. Doherty or Botman? The only thing about Newcastle that you guys must please be aware of is that they're probably going to blank in Game Week 25 if they progress in the League Cup. So what the odds are telling us is that Newcastle and United will progress, and therefore those two games will be blanks. It's United versus Brentford, and I think Newcastle versus Brighton. So those two fixtures, if everything happens as it's kind of predicted on the odds, those two fixtures will be blanks. So if you own a lot of Newcastle assets, you might want to be a little bit cautious about bringing them in. But I mean, they could go on massive hauls from now till then, so that should be fine. Davey, the app isn't working. What to do? What I would suggest is get on to just go on your browser on your phone and try and log in, because that should hopefully help you. Usually the app is pretty reliable, so maybe just wait a bit. I would probably say just wait about 5 minutes and see if it's back, because the app is usually slightly more reliable than the website. Make a sideways move from -4 to take Walker out for a different City defender, or just start White and bench Walker. Now, I'll just play Walker, Clark. I think the only defender that I would take out from Man City is going to be Cancelo. I'd still probably keep Stones for the long term. I think Cancelo's the only one because he's so expensive. All the other defenders I would simply just keep and hope they start 2 games. Ten Hag in his interview iterated how important Martial's to his side and how he benefits Rashford's game. Do you think it would be a better move than Anthony? At none. I want to bring in Martial, and I just wish that he was training this week. It just worries me a lot that he hasn't trained this week, trained today for tomorrow, lunchtime, and then I'm bringing him in to play a lot of games over the medium term. That just makes me worried. And that's why I think Anthony, I'd love Bruno Fernandes, but I just can't afford him without doing too much of a switch up. And that's why I'm just going for Anthony, because I feel like he's maybe the third best attacker to go for after Rashford. I think that Bruno's number 1, Martial's number 2 if he is fit, but I just can't rely on him, and that's why I think Anthony's the second best there. Should I do Anthony for Mount for a -4? Gary, that move kind of makes sense for the medium term, so I'd say that. Your active triple captain, yes, I will be activating the triple captain this week. Unless we get some massive news about Haaland or something like that. Doherty or Botman, I already answered that, but I think I said Doherty. Guaita or Ward. This week, I'd go for Guaita. Even though he has 2 tough games, I mean, he could get some save points. Do you think triple versus United and Spurs is better than Villa and Arsenal? My bias says, so Henry, I spoke about this. I think the fixtures are better. I think that Arsenal's a tougher game, but I think that Aston Villa is a much better game. But the thing about them is that there's 3 days rest compared to 5 days rest, if I calculated it right. So that's the only thing that you must consider, and that's why I'd say that. Martial to Tony for -4, no, just keep Martial. If you have Martial, he's like a no buy. Just don't buy him, but you keep him. That sort of player now. Should we take a Martial or Tony in for Nunes for a hit? I don't think you should take a Martial. Will United double again in 22? Tank, there's a good chance of it, but not kind of definite chance. I'm taking a punt here by going for Anthony or going for Bruno Fernandes or whatever, just because they have that double game week. So the thing I could also do is I could do this. I could, instead of going for Kane, I could go for Tony. The thing I worry about Tony, though, is like if you look at his fixtures, I think you guys can see these. Okay, let me just check. Yeah, you guys can see. So the next 3 are splendid. Let's just hope that he doesn't get suspended because he's been betting. Then in game week 25, this is a United fixture. He probably will blank here. So I'll have to transfer him out anyways. So what we're hoping here is that he absolutely bangs in these 3 or 5 or whatever, and then we sell him, and the transfer that we have to sell him on is worth the kind of points that he got here. And that's my only concern, is that if he gets banned soon, then we screwed. But what that allows me to do then is it allows me to go for Bruno Fernandes instead. And I've left with like 2.2 in the bank. So we left with quite a bit of money. And then actually what I could just do is I could just keep João Cancelo. I could not take a -4. I could just go with Cancelo, rock with him and see what he does. And then these transfers. This is basically a -4 less. And I'm getting my United attacker that I want. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about this move rather. Hey David, who would you start between Mitrovic and Mount, and are you starting in goal? So what I would do then is I think you have to go with Mitrovic, Eddie, to be honest. He's on penalties, looks better, and then I think that Mount, he might even get rotated. And in goal, I'm starting Kepa. No worries, Henry. I saw someone say Mitro to Tony. No, keep Mitrovic. Castagne or Botman for this game week. So who did Leicester play? Leicester play Nottingham Forest. I'd probably say I'd probably say Leicester. I'd probably say Castagne. The only reason for that is that Fulham actually are pretty good attacking side. So I'm not too confident about the Newcastle clean sheet, but I mean, Trippier always offers that attacking threat. Who are you triple captaining, Spence? I'm triple captaining Erling Haaland. Liam saying, I like this option. Everyone's saying, I like the Tony move. Fixture's too good to ignore. Everyone's saying. Peter's saying, hi, Davey. -8, get Kane in for Mitro, 3 transfers or no hit, and just get short for Cucurella. But Peter, it's a little bit tough. I don't know your team. I don't think Kane's a priority transfer this week just because of the double is not that great, and then he faces Man City in 2 game weeks time anyways. Is KDB a must? KDB is not a must, but he's a very good option this week. That's what I would say. Mount to Anthony for extra -4. So Milos, I can't do that, but you could do that. I think that move looks fine. Matt's saying I'm also doing Tony. Okay, so a lot of people seem to prefer this transfer selection. Hello, you prefer De Bruyne or Fernandes in? I'd say De Bruyne. I'm 0.1 short for these moves. That's a bit unlucky, but what I would say, just downgrade Cancelo then. Or what you could do, how much is Bueno? So just go Patterson to Bueno, but I don't know if... Okay, does he have a game week? So he plays game week 25 against Fulham. It's not the best game, but that could be the move you do. Just bring in Bueno for Patterson if you want. No worries, Eddie. Sell it to KDB for a -4, Fabian. I think it's worth that move just because of. Okay, let me explain what I'm talking about here. So I'm just gonna go for Alisson, just for example. So we have Brighton, Chelsea, Wolves, Everton, Newcastle. Then they face Crystal Palace. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 6 games. Just correct me if I'm wrong there. Sorry, it's a Friday. Then let's check KDB. And KDB has the 2 games today. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he has 8 games. He has 2 more games than Salah does if Salah doesn't get double game week 21. That's 2 games. I think that's worth the -4. It's 2 appearance points, but Salah's a different animal. So he could outperform De Bruyne even on a single game week. But I think it's worth the punt. And also, everyone owns Haaland, everyone's captaining Haaland, so it allows you to enjoy some City points if De Bruyne gets the assist, for example. Tony in for a hit for Nunez. Sorry if you answered it already. 100% fine. I think the 3 options that I would look at for replacement are Callum Wilson, Tony, or Kane. That's what I would say. How much is Callum Wilson? I could probably also go for Callum Wilson. So Callum Wilson's actually cheaper. He's 7.2 million. Fixtures are Fulham, Crystal Palace, West Ham. Crystal Palace, West Ham, not that great. But then he has Bournemouth, Liverpool, which is a good fixture now. Brighton also haven't been defending too well. So, I mean, Callum Wilson might be a better selection than Ivan Toney, to be honest. Yeah, maybe Callum Wilson's the play to go for there. Because both will blank probably in game week 25 anyways. So that could be a consideration, actually. Anthony for Mount, I'm fine with that move as well. That's a cool move to go for. If you are taking out Mount, though, I'm almost thinking that there's not too many fires to put out on your own team because that move looks pretty fine. Akanji or Ake for the double game week. I think between those two, it's really 50-50. And that's how I would go with the cheaper option, who I think is actually Ake. Okay, no, they're actually the same price. So Akanji or Ake, it's a 50-50. I can't really say who's going to play both those games. I just think that Ake might offer more flexibility because he plays at the fullback as well. Davey took a -4 for Stones. No, you just keep him. Just keep Stones. And then I would say it's tight between starting him or Ben White. But I'd probably say I'd start Stones because they face Spurs. And like I just don't know. The North London derby is a... App is down, says a lot of people. Thoughts on reply? So if you 0.6 off those moves, Harry, I'll just bring in Ake for Cancelo, to be honest. Start Che Adams or Havertz, can't decide as they're both... Okay. So Pete, I can understand why you had your comment reviewed because I can understand the language, but don't worry, I approved it for you. Don't worry, guys. I will be doing my moves in due time. A lot of people are concerned about making moves in time, but I will be doing them with a few minutes to spare. Would you start Cancelo? If you're going to keep him, do it. Don't wait for making the moves today. Yeah, if you guys have moves to make sure that you make them in enough time. Yes, website or app is down. I think the website seems fine. What I'm going to do though, guys, is I'm going to activate the triple captain. So I've activated the triple captain. So if you're listening to this right now, on my second monitor, which I'll show you here, I'll just bring it up so that you guys can see. I've activated the triple captain just in case the website goes down or something like that. So right now the triple captain has been activated. I'll refresh the page just to prove to you that it has. So yeah, the triple captain's activated, but currently I'm just dealing with the transfer page because I want to show you guys the different moves. Okay, let's get back to chat. App is very slow. Can you deactivate once activated? Yes, you can, Adam. You can activate once. You can deactivate the triple captain if you want to. But yeah, so I would suggest if you want to use the triple captain, activate it now. Just because if nothing goes right, at least you do have the triple captain. Are you definitely triple captaining? Why not in Game Week 23? I just like the expected minutes this week. I think that he has a higher expected minutes, to be honest. Will Saka play? He will play. I think Arteta said that he should be fine, and every time he says he should be fine, he's looked good. Everyone praying nothing crashes. Yes, indeed. Light rays. 5 a.m. Sydney time. What are your chances? Right now, I'm looking at a potential -4 or -8. Either Tony or Kane in, and Kane, Anthony, or going for Bruno, Tony for -4 or -8 of going Kane, Anthony, and going for Ake. Captain Haaland or Kane. For me, it's Haaland. Saka replacement, 7.7. I think you got to go Anthony then. Why Haaland triple captain? No better game weeks coming soon. So the two that are in front of us, I want a triple captain Erling Haaland. So the two in front of us, game week 2023. Game week 20, fixtures are worse, but the expected minutes are better. And that's why I'm taking the punt. But if you want to go for 23, that's also perfectly fine. Or if you want to go for Rashford, if they get 22, that's also 100% fine. Almost Salah or whatever you want to go for, that's also perfectly fine. Doherty not in your thinking. He isn't my thinking, but I just feel like if I'm going to have a Man City spot open, I'd rather bring in a Man City player this week. Did you already add Fernandes? No, I haven't. I've added no one here in terms of my transfers. I'm just looking at some potential expected points for the next game week to just see if I can do anything better. Okay, so everything's kind of the same right now in terms of my transfers. In terms of the poll, we've got 62% saying no and 38% saying yes. So that is quite interesting. Felix looked really good till he got the red. Yeah, that is true. Would you guys say, okay, so between these two options, let's just say that I go for Harry Kane here. Let's just say that Harry Kane is like locked into my side. If I have to choose between these two, would you rather have Mahrez and a United centre-back, such as Martinez or Varane, or would you go for Ake and Anthony? So Anthony, Ake, or Mahrez, Varane. Those two options. Who would you say between those two? Like if we were to put those two out on the table, what do you think? What do you think's the better option there? I think there's a good chance of a United double in game week 22. That is true. Anthony plus Ake. So we got the first couple coming in to saying Anthony plus Ake. David saying Kepa to Edison. Yeah, that's a move that I would like to do, but that would revolve around a -12, which I don't know if I'm too keen on doing. The -12, what it could be is I could then go for another defender. I just don't know which defender I would potentially look at then. Don't trust double United defense. Okay, so everyone's saying Anthony and Ake. Do you like Mount as an asset? No, I don't like Mount, but this week is the least of my concerns. I think that he could do fine against Crystal Palace. Are you more on Kane and Anthony or Tony and Bruno Fernandes? That's the thing, is between those two, I don't know about those two. Between Tony and Fernandes, that's a bit rough. I feel like Cancelo plays both games. So Tony, that's the thing. If he does play both games, we're not looking too fresh. That's all I'll say. I got Gakpo in my team because I think Klopp wants to give. Yeah, he does, and also because Darwin's out. Am I crazy to captain Rashford? A semi. It's a little bit of a weird one. Bench Sam Greenwood for Odegaard or Martinelli. I'd probably say Odegaard's stats look better, but I'd probably try to start both of them. Davey, it's been a minute. It has been a minute. Probability of Cancelo starting. I can't remove Cancelo. So Nikhil, that's a worry that I'm also having, is that, I mean, I think he's a nostalgia pick though. Like if you're going to keep him, I think he's a nostalgia pick right now. Okay, let me just go check Twitter before I lock in the moves. Okay, I am seeing nothing too hectic in terms of things that I see. And apparently the app is throwing up a few errors. If anyone is having concerns about that. Okay, yeah. So I've checked Twitter. It has not helped me one bit. Make your moves, please. Yeah, so I'm gonna make them. I'll make them by quarter past. So you think Gakpo's gonna play? Yes, he will. Are you drinking? Yes, I am. Light rays. Bring Almiron instead of Anthony. I just feel like I would rather go with Anthony for the doubles. So a lot of people are saying that Anthony moves over the others. So these would be the moves then, with the 0.4 in the bank to spend whenever. It's a -8. Kane comes in, Anthony comes in, and Ake comes in. Yeah, like Bruno Tony might be better. I just worry about that potential suspension for Tony, but I think that he could be a nice option as well. So instead of Kane, going for Tony Fernandes. And then keeping Cancelo for the doubles. So keeping Cancelo, going for Fernandes, and then going for Tony. So are these moves better? Do you think these moves are... Yeah, like as Henry's saying, it's a little bit of overthinking if you're not going to go for Kane this week when we have the opportunity. What about Wilson? Yeah, Wilson's the same. Wilson I could also potentially look at. He could be like a more sensible one, but I just don't know. Wilson better than Tony? No, yeah. So between Tony and Wilson, I think I side between Tony because of the fixtures, but Wilson's also a fine replacement. Yeah, and like as Giroud's saying, it's a little bit mad when you consider what potentially could happen with Tony. I think just the more sensible one is kind of going for Kane, even though it's costing an extra -4. If I could go for Almiron, I would probably here, but I can't because I can't afford him. So that's why I almost have to like kind of do these moves. Kane will get a yellow card and then be suspended. That is true, but then he won't be suspended for the Fulham game. Please decide between the electricity. Sorry, I have electricity outages right now, so don't worry. What would you do if you were 0.3 under this? I would go for Doherty instead of Ake, to be honest. Yeah, Ole, I mean, it is how it is some days. But yeah, I think these are going to be the moves that I go for. I mean, it's a punt with Anthony, but I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully he does well. I mean, his form hasn't been great, but he's a punt for the doubles, I guess. And I am triple captaining. No, keep Martial David if you have him. So I think these are going to be the moves that we do look at. So Cancelo, Ake, Andreas, Anthony, and then Darwin for Kane. And that's going to be a -8. So we're going to lock them in. Done transfers. Yes, we've confirmed them. So there's the team for the upcoming game week. Triple captaincy is going to stay exactly the same. We've got the triple captain on Haaland, the vice on De Bruyne. The rest of the team looks pretty fine. I'm just hoping for some big returns from the United assets, but that might not come. Anthony's a punt, but I mean, it is what it is with a double and potential doubles coming up. Ake, hopefully he starts both games, and Cancelo is benched for both, and hopefully the hits pay off. I mean, hopefully the triple captain overweighs the other moves. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just post the screenshot for the Discord server, just so everyone is on the same page and also on the YouTube page. But yeah, thanks for helping me through those moves, guys. I don't know if I did the ones that you wanted, but I did the ones that I thought would be fine. Keep Walker 100%. That's what I would do. Would you bench Martinelli and start Almiron/Mitro? That's a tough one. I only have 3. I'd say probably. I'd say maybe I'd play Almiron instead of Martinelli. The only team I have 3 players for is United. I'm turning into a deluded fan. I support Liverpool, so how do you think I feel? I'm even worse. But I guess for me, my team is playing just as badly. So, I mean, it is what it is. Sorry, guys. I'm just posting this over on YouTube. Just for the legends. Yeah, is anyone else triple captaining? Or are you guys also on like the single captain? I think most people might be using the Yama -8. To be honest, Saka replacements. I'd keep Saka this week. Ward over Kepa. I think I'm gonna run with Kepa this week. I can understand why you want to go for the Leicester asset, but let's just hope that maybe Chelsea have a rebound or something. Martial to Tony from -8. Danny, no, just keep Martial. Chris saying I'm not triple captain. Understandable. I think if you want to go triple captain or not, it's a very like 50-50 call this week. G-Red saying, yeah, he's a triple captain. Play Bueno or White. Who do Wolves face? Wolves face West Ham. I'd probably just go with Ben White. They have a better defense, but it's close. Please help, says Andy. Shaw, Kane, Almiron in for Cancelo, Darwin, Mount. Or White, Kane, no minus. I would go with the Shaw combination, the first one. Shaw, Kane, Almiron. Gabriel to Ake for a -4, says Sam. I don't think so. I don't think I'd do that this week because it's not allowing you to do any other upgrades. Gabriel, similar price to Ake. Only if it allows you to do an upgrade, then I would do it. Would you start Mitra or Saka? Saka, Sebastian. Ake or Shaw? Shaw, probably. Andreas or Ben White? Whom should I bench? I'd say go for the attack and the kill unless you're playing the odds here. For example, if you don't own a Harry Kane, I'd play Ben White. And if you're playing a Trippier, then I'd probably bench Andreas. But if you're playing both of them, then maybe go for Andreas. Andreas or White first on the bench, my guy. I'd say Andreas first. Bring in Luke Shaw for Cucurella. I think that's a good move. Casemiro instead of Anthony. If you can't afford Anthony, maybe. But I think I always prefer a more advanced attacker. Play Martial over Martinelli. I'd say yes. Ward or Pope? Pope. Best mid at 6.9 million. I have the same team as yours. I would go for Almiron. Would you start Mitchell Martinelli? Probably. And that one's a super tight one, to be honest. I'd say maybe Mitchell just edges it for me. Andreas or Ben White, who should I bench? As I said, it depends on who you have in your team. Vice captain Rashford or Kane? Rashford. Triple captain time for sure to run. Yes, I'm not going to bait you guys by like deactivating the triple captain now. I've committed to it, and I'm gonna run with it. This weekend is gonna be electric. It's gonna be electric. Hopefully for the good reasons, not the bad reasons, and hopefully the team I have returns some points. I have 2 free transfers. I can go Kane, Almiron, and Ake, or Tony, Bruno, and Ake. What do you think? So Ronaldo, I went with Kane, the Kane route. I'd probably say I'd still run with that, even though you're going for Almiron. I just think, I don't know if I can bring in Tony at this stage with the uncertainty about his future. I've just taken a -4, but I got 8.5 double and switched the system to 3-5-2 with my 3 forwards. Ferguson looking interesting at 4.5. No Kane goes, okay, and then can be Zaha. Okay, options prime, that looks pretty strong. My first game without a City defender, scared. I don't think you have to be scared Harry this week. I mean, it's United Spurs. If there's ever going to be a time not to have a City defender, it's this week. Electric or electric outage, you mean? So, I mean, I'm on stage 6 load shedding, so I hardly have power this week. Bro, are you sure you want to play Kepa instead of Ward? Murad, it's a super 50-50. I'm just going for Kepa. I trust the Chelsea defense slightly more. I know it sounds crazy, but I just do. It might be a cagey game. Crystal Palace aren't the best kind of attackers, so that's why I'm running with them. Isn't there better triple captain options? So, Basili, if you think there are, then that's 100% fine. I just really want to captain Haaland, and I believe that this game week is the best Haaland triple captain week. So that's why I'm running for it. -8 Cucurella for Ake. I think as a future move, Andy, that looks fine, but you can also get away with not doing it this week, brother. This is the kind of week not to bring in a Man City defender if there ever was one. Is the triple captain for sure? Yes, it is for sure. Anthony alternate for 7.4. Zaha, but isn't Anthony 7.4 as well? So if you don't want to bring in Anthony, then you could look at someone like an Almiron if you want to go for a cheap option. Otherwise, there's not many in that bracket that I'd probably look at, besides maybe an Anthony. Have a feeling KDB outscores Haaland. Maybe, but I'm not touching that in terms of triple captaincy. I'm not banking on that one because Haaland's a machine. KDB is great as well, but I just don't think he's been performing. Update your finances, Davey. I don't want to update it now. It's like, but basically I have 0.4 in the bank, if you guys don't know. I have a similar squad like yours, but I have Tony and... Okay, that's fine then. You got a different formation. Aren't double game week 20, double game week 23 better? So, Adnan, I don't really get what you're saying, but I just assume that you're saying like game week 23. But yeah, in terms of fixtures, yes, but not in terms of kind of nailed ability, as I like to say. Is Odegaard to Mount for -4 worth? I don't think I'd do that move this week, Gary. I think I just play Mount. Couldn't do Andreas to Anthony, so I did Mount to Anthony and kept Andreas as... Trust Andreas more, to be honest. That's fine. That's 100% fine to run. The nice thing about Andreas as well is that he does play game week 25. So, you're looking at a move there. 2 goal involvements over the last 2 games for Haaland, and we happy. I would say, Harry, 15 points minimum, and then I'm happy. But I'm hoping he gets that. I'd say 15 points minimum, and then I'm happy for a triple captain. That's basically a goal in both games and bonus points. Then I'll be fine. Play White or Andreas. Look at your starting 11, Zaid. If you have Harry Kane, then don't play White. But if you don't, then I'd play Andreas. If you don't, then I'd play White. Similar thing with like Trippier. If you have Andreas and you're playing Trippier, then just think about who is the bigger risk to lose the points from. Will Walker play? I think he plays one of the 2. Might play both. What about Kepa for Edison from -8? I like the Edison move because he's nailed. Whereas I can't afford it. If you can, that could be an option to look at. I would do that for a -4. If you guys can afford it, Kepa to Edison looks good. Cucurella to Ake from -4, -8 already. So I don't know about that. I think I would probably just stick with Cucurella. I mean, he didn't play the last game. He might play this game. And I don't think City's chances of a clean sheet are that high. The only reason I'm looking at an Ake is because I'm looking for future game weeks. They have so many doubles coming up. And also the fact that I could downgrade Cancelo and upgrade another department. That's why I've gone for it. Yash says, Yash became a member. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Kepa or Raya? I would say Raya, definitely. Triple captain Rashford, let's go. 5 minutes to go, guys. Please make sure that you get those moves in. I see the website has not crashed yet, so you should be fine, I think, in terms of getting your moves in. How much in the bank? I got 0.4 in the bank now. 4.3 in the bank. Which defender should I go for? Already have White, Trippier, Shaw, Neko, Patterson. I think you can go for Doherty. Chetan, or what you could do is you could play White, Trippier, Shaw, and then you go for Edison in goal. How many hits are you taking? I'm taking 2 hits, so it's going to be a -8 this week. Should I do Mount, Stones, and Gabriel out? KDB, Lewis, and White in? Yash, I don't know about that one. It makes sense on paper, but actually it does make fine sense, to be honest. I checked Stones now, he's injured. It's just a bit annoying that you brought Stones in, I guess, before, because you could have saved that move. But those moves look fine. Just a bit sideways going from Gabriel to Ben White, you know, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe just go for Mount to Mahrez for free, if you can afford that, probably. Give the stream a like, says Light Rays. Always appreciated. If you guys aren't enjoying it, though, you don't have to give it a like. But if you are, it's always appreciated. Cancelo and Saka to Botman and Mahrez. I would keep Saka, to be honest. Like, unless you want to captain Mahrez tie, then maybe. But I just feel like I would stick with Cancelo and Saka. Cancelo gonna haul. I mean, everyone's transferring him out, so probably. Will Martial start? I have a sneaky feeling that he's probably going to start the game tomorrow, but I just worry about his fitness. How much in the bank? 0.4 left in the bank, MD10. Triple captain Allah active. Yes, it is active. Hashim. That's where you can see that the white triple captain is active there. You got a like from me, Daniel. Always appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Andreas or Bueno, whom to start? Andreas, probably. Will Saka start? He should be fine. Arteta said that he's okay. Is Cancelo worth keeping over Gabriel? I need to get rid of one of them. I'd probably keep Cancelo this week if you have a choice between Gabriel and Cancelo, to be honest. Nunes to Tony, a -8. I think I would do that. Let's get some green arrows this week. Good luck, everyone. So, Harry, you can only say that when it's past the deadline, because then the green arrows are in our favor. But right now, we still have a couple of minutes to spare. Thank you for everything, says the Darth. No worries. Hopefully these moves pay off. As I said, I'm not like super confident, to be honest. But I think they have the potential. If Anthony does anything, I'm going to be super pumped, because that's definitely kind of a differential punt, to be honest. Is Martial fit to play? So he apparently trained today. They're going to see his reaction. I think that he should be fine. I wouldn't be confident of like 90 minutes. I'd probably say 60 minutes. And then we'll see what happens after that. Triple captain or wait. So I'm using it this game week. So I can't do something this game week and then advise you guys to do differently. That would make me a little bit of a hypocrite. So I'm using it this week, so I think it's a good week. But if you don't, that's 100% fine. 23 points, Haaland incoming. I'll be so happy if that happens. Davey's scared for triple captain. The thing about the triple captain, it's probably the same with you guys. When I look at this triple captain game week, I don't automatically think like I want a triple captain Haaland this week. It's not like he has Leeds and Bournemouth in the same game week. It's just, it doesn't make sense. Maybe that's why it's going to work. You won't believe the amount of times I've activated and deactivated the triple captain on Haaland this stream. So Murad, what's happening? Is it because like I activated it? Do you think it's bad luck or something? Don't worry, we've got the chocolate milk Steri stump here. Everything's going to be beautiful this week, guys. I promise you. That'll mean you'll shave on stream. I think you misheard me. I think I said 40 points for Haaland. I think then I'll be happy. But I will shave. No, maybe not on stream, but I will shave if he gets 20 points. Son gonna haul, hopefully. I mean, if he goes for it. What are your thoughts on the top G Andrew Tate? No comment until he gets released, if you know what I'm saying. -4 for sure. I think that's going to be worth it, Gio. Especially it depends on who you're going to take out, though. Please wish good morning to our triple captain. Don't forget, 100% Rafa. I'll put it in the queue right now to remember it. Mbumo punt. I'm fine with the Mbumo punt. I think I'll try go for Tony if you can afford him, but Mbumo is also fine. We need the chocolate milk in every stream. So don't know if I can do it every stream because I need that good luck vibe from it, you know. The good juju only comes every so often. And hopefully it happens this game week. Kepa or Ward? I'm going for Ward, KH. So for me, it's a 50-50 though. Time's up. That is true, guys. Time is up. What an absolutely mental stream. Do appreciate you guys sticking by. I know it was a little bit chaotic. The transfer plan was all over the place, but at least you guys stuck by me, and hopefully it was a little bit enjoyable. There's only one top G, and that's none other than the code Davey. I do appreciate it. Thank you. As Krista's saying, I think everyone is triple captaining Haaland this week. Loki looked like a top G. Murad saying that comment and made me activate it, so hopefully it's going to be a good one. You haven't done Ward. Yeah, I haven't done Ward. Ward's on my bench. So this is the team as I confirmed it, guys. I haven't refreshed anything. But hopefully it's going to be an absolute bang of a game week, guys. Double game week 20, triple captain activated, -8 hit. That's an absolute recipe for a green arrow if I've ever heard one. So as always, hopefully the green arrows are in our favor. Whatever moves you guys made, whatever weekend plans you guys have, please be safe. And I'll see you hopefully after a massive Erling Haaland haul for that double game week, potentially double game week 21 content coming at you next week. But thanks for running the stream. I was on a Friday night. Have a safe evening. And we're signing off with Davey FPL, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.